Hello everyone from wherever you're tuning in from around the world. Welcome to the WCG for the final fixture of Season 6. It's Brennan's 11 taking on Matt's 11 for the right to be crowned Limited Overs champions. Matt's 11 will be looking to put a disappointing result in this year's Test Series behind them and claim a third Limited Overs crown. And for the men in blue, they'll be looking to break their Limited Overs curse and claim their first ever Limited Overs title. As we take a look at the playing conditions for this year's Limited Overs contest, for the first time in WCG history, the innings length has been lifted to 30 overs per side. There'll be a power play period of 5 overs to be used at any time during the batting side's innings. During that power play period, one member of the fielding side will be absent from the field. And finally, each bowler can bowl a maximum of 3 overs during their bowling innings. The toss was conducted a short time ago, and it was the men in green who won the toss and they've elected to bat first. So as we take a look at this Matt's 11 side for this day-night Limited Overs contest, they'll be led by Matt White once again, who is coming off a pretty handy Australia Day T20 Big Bash with both bat and ball. Alongside it will be the MVP from that tournament, Ryan Schaefer, who is coming off a dream Australia Day T20 Big Bash campaign, propelling Young Money Cash Money to their first title. Can he bring that form into this Limited Overs contest? Harry Dean will line up for the men in green once again and has a point to prove after a lean Test Series with the bat for Matt's 11. Michael Johnson also takes his place in this lineup. He too has had a pretty lean trot with the bat for Matt's 11, but this is a fixture where he has excelled in down the years. Daniel Arnold will open up with the blade once again for the men in green after an impressive back end to the Test Series where he was propelled to the top of the order. Nathan Hancock, who was just about the pick of the bowlers for Matt's 11 during this year's Test Series, also lines up for the men in green tonight. Tom Doy, the WCG Cold Hero, has been signed from Brennan's 11 on a one-match deal after the late withdrawal of Joel Wodjick. And the big news is Dave Lupton comes into the matchday side to make his debut for Matt's 11 and his first appearance outside of the Australia Day T20 Big Bash. And rounding out the Matt's 11 lineup, we have Jake Kasatia, who is coming off a pretty successful Australia Day T20 Big Bash campaign with the men in orange smack my pitch up. And it's Mark Pasterfield, who impressed for the men in green with the ball in the Test Series, who rounds out the side. And as we take a look at the Brennan's 11 side, who are looking to conquer this final frontier at the WCG, they will be captained by Brendan Scott once again, who is coming off a pretty impressive Test Series with both bat and ball, but he's never been able to translate that into Limited Over success. Will tonight be his night? He'll be joined by Justin Brooke, who has had a pretty decent season at the WCG here in Season 6, and he'll be looking to do the double here for the men in blue and finish on a high. George Paneros takes his place in his Brennan's 11 lineup, as he has something to prove also after a pretty lean season by his standards so far. Gavin Merrifield lines up for the men in blue once again, as he'll be looking to put the disappointment of that grand final loss in the Australia Day T20 Big Bash behind him and win the silverware here for Brennan's 11. Henry Perenara makes his return to the Brennan's 11 lineup after missing the final 2 tests of this year's Test Series. Josh Bolling lines up for the men in blue once again. He took 7 wickets for the men in blue during that Test Series, so he heads into this fixture full of confidence. Daniel Hancock lines up for the men in blue once again, as he'll be looking to put a disappointing Australia Day T20 Big Bash campaign behind him. Peter Fowler takes his place in his Brennan's 11 lineup, and conversely, he will head into this contest full of confidence after captaining the men in orange smack my pitch up to a maiden Australia Day T20 Big Bash quarter-final. And rounding out the lineup for the men in blue, it's the 2 youngsters. Riley Cornforth has been signed by Brennan's 11 after impressing on debut at the Australia Day T20 Big Bash, and it's young Costa Sabas, who finally makes an appearance outside of the Australia Day T20 Big Bash, who lines up with his How's That skipper once again. And just before we get underway, we'd like to thank our matchday sponsor for this Limited Overs contest. The Marsden Brew House out at Marsden Park, New South Wales, have jumped on board to round out this season, and in particular their Newland Pale Ale, which is a top drop. So it's Brennan's 11 v Matt's 11 for the final time this season. It's the day-night Limited Overs fixture, and we're ready to go. And it will be Daniel Arnold who will get this innings underway for the men in green. As mentioned prior, is coming off a pretty handy Test Series with the bat after being propelled to the top of the order for the final 2 Test matches. Can he get Matt's 11 off to the ideal start? So the final bragging rights for Season 6 are wrapped for grabs here tonight, and it's going to be Justin Brooke to bowl the first over of this contest as he goes around the wicket to Daniel Arnold. Here is in now, and this one's a back of a leg delivery, and this one rears up and hits Arnold in the chest. So an aggressive start here for Brooke, who's on from ball one, and if Arnold isn't awake, he sure is now. Brooke to continue around the wicket here to Arnold in the first over of the contest. Here he's in now, this one's a good length delivery, but this one has slid down the leg side, and that'll be called a wide. So match 11 are off the mark here in this limited overs fixture. A reminder that all wides and no balls will be re-bowled tonight, so accuracy will be key for both sides. As Brooke will continue around the wicket now to Arnold. This one's a full deliverance, played back down the ground, but it's a brilliant stop by Gavin Merrifield, who dives away to his left to prevent a boundary. So Brennan's 11 are alive and alert in the field to begin with. So a brilliant contest already this, as Brooke will continue to Arnold in the opening over, and this one's a good length delivery, bang on the money, and this one looks like it beat the bat of Arnold, but he got across well to cover up. Daniel Arnold was the second leading run scorer in this year's Test series, and a lot of that success came after he moved to the top of the order, so this appears to be where he feels most comfortable. As Brooke will continue to him now around the wicket, and this one's a back of a length delivery, but this one slides down the leg side once again, so that'll be another one added to the total. So match 11, no wicket for two in the opening over. Two wides getting their account underway, as Brooke will continue to him now in the opening over. This is in now, this one's a better delivery, bang on the money, and Arnold is forward and solid in defence as he plays that to Paneros for no run. So Arnold clearly in no rush to begin with, plenty of time with 30 overs per innings. As Brooke is in once again to Arnold, this one's a full delivery, and there's a massive appeal here for the men in blue, and it's been given! They've got Arnold early! There must have been a tickle through to the keeper as Arnold goes for a duck here in the limited overs fixture. As we take a look, yeah, there's a definite sound as it passes the bat. So it's the perfect start to this contest for the men in blue as they pick up the dangerous Arnold for a duck. Match 11, 1 for 2. So not the start to this contest at match 11 we're looking for, as that wicket now brings Tom Doyle to the crease at number 2, coming off yet another impressive Australia Day T20 Big Bash campaign. Can he stand up with the bat for the men in green, with his side in early trouble? So he'll have one delivery left to negotiate in this Brooke opening over. As Brooke is in now, and this one's a quick delivery, and it strikes Tom Doyle on the thigh to end a successful over for the men in blue. 1 for 2 after 1. It'll be Josh bowling to bowl the second over of the contest. As in now, round the wicket here to Doyle. This one's a back of length delivery which slides on with the arm, and it strikes Doyle on the leg for no run. So Scott opting to use bowling early in the bowling cycle once again, as he did in the Test series, possibly trying to catch the green machine top order unawares. His bowling will continue to Doyle in the second over. And this one's a more of a flighted delivery, and he's played away on the leg side, but it's well fielded by Justin Brooke for no run. Now a good start here for the men in blue, who have been on in the field here from ball one, and they've picked up the early wicket of Arnold. So Brennan's 11 on top to begin this limited overs fixture. Still early days in this contest, as bowling will continue around the wicket here to Doyle, and Doyle plays his way on the leg side. He's going to sneak through for a single. Oh, and a direct hit, and he was gone. It was a suicidal single there from the big man. I wonder if Brooke could have just thrown this to bowling, who was behind the stumps. Yeah, he probably could have. Doyle gets away with one early. Though Doyle off the mark in nervous fashion, as bowling will continue to him now around the wicket. This one's a full delivery, and it pops up on the offside, and it just falls short of young Costa Sabas, who makes a brilliant diving effort away to his left. So a shaky start to his innings here from Doyle, but he's still there. Match 11, 1 for 3. It's going to be George Paneros by the third over of the innings. As in now round the wicket here to Doyle, and he plays his way on the leg side off the fence, and it's well watched by bowling, who makes the stop. So Brennan's 11 on top here early on in this limited overs fixture. Match 11 looking to rebuild after the loss of the early wicket. Paneros is in once again to Doyle, and this one's a full delivery. Doyle gets his way on the leg side for his first boundary of the contest. That'll help settle the nerves for the big fella, who moves along to 5. Match 11, 1 for 7 in the third over. Paneros will continue around the wicket here to Doyle, and this one's a full delivery, and it's gone right through the big fella. It's the second wicket down for Match 11, who are now in big trouble in the opening overs of this contest. Paneros knocks over the castle of Tom Doyle, and that'll do his confidence no harm. Doyle goes for 5. Match 11 in early trouble at 2 for 7. So it's been a dream start in this limited overs fixture for the men in blue, as that wicket now brings Harry Dean to the crease at number 3. Has caught plenty of criticism for his lean efforts with the bat for match 11 so far. Can he stand up in this fixture? So he'll have to face his nice Gary teammate first up, as Paneros is into Dean around the wicket, And this one's a full delivery, and Dean plays this away on the leg side to end the over. 2 for 7 after 3. So it's going to be the youngster, Costa Savas, to bowl the 4th over of the innings. As he's in now over the wicket here to Dean. He begins with a back of a lane delivery, and Dean just drops that on the offside to move through for a single. So Dean off the mark in confident fashion, but his side is still in a big hole early on. Match 11, 2 for 8 in the 4th over. As Costa Savas will continue again now to Dean, and this one's a short delivery. It's a good bumper here from the youngster, and it's actually pretty well negotiated there from Dean, who drops this on the offside once again and will move through for a single. Aggressive stuff here from the youngster. It's a good battle. Savas to continue to Dean in the 4th over. Here as he continues over the wicket, and this one's a good delivery, bang on the money, and Dean is forward and defends well for no run. So a good start with the ball for the youngster here in this limited overs fixture. As he'll continue to Dean now over the wicket. Here he's in now, this one's a good length delivery, and it's wide outside the off stump, and Dean lets it go. So this is a good battle currently brewing here at the WCG. The men in blue on top here early on. Savas is into Dean once again. Here he's in now, this one's a wild delivery which sails over the head of Dean. So that'll be called a no ball, and just as we'll sing at his praises, he delivers a beamer. Match 11, 2 for 10 in the 4th over. Savas will continue again now to Dean, and this one slides down the leg side, so that'll be another extra added to the total. So just falling away here is the youngster in his final deliveries of his opening over. Match 11, 2 for 11 in the 4th. And Savas will continue again now to Dean. This one's a better delivery, bang on the money, and Dean defends on the offside for no run. So this has been a pretty solid start to his innings here from Harry Dean, who will be looking to prove his critics wrong in this limited overs fixture. Savas is in for the final ball of the over, and it's a good length delivery left alone outside the off stump. 2 for 11 after 4. It'll be Gavin Merrifield to bowl the 5th over of the innings. As in now round the wicket here to Dean, and it's a good length delivery, bang on the money, and Dean is forward and solid in defence once again. So it's a pretty short start to his innings here from Harry Dean, who's been technically sound as he looks to rebuild this innings. As Merrifield is into him once again, it's a full delivery, and is played away on the leg side to Justin Brooke for no run. So this is a big period of the match, you feel. If they can pick up a third here and bring the match 11 skipper to the crease, they'll be into the middle order. As Merrifield continues again now to Dean, it's a back of a length delivery, and Dean punches this on the offside for no run. So 3 dots to begin the over here for Merrifield. Brennan's 11 have been fantastic with the ball so far this afternoon. As Merrifield is in once again to Dean, and this one's a full delivery which squares Harry Dean up, but he just about keeps this out. So he's fighting hard here as the left-hander. This is a fantastic battle. Merrifield to continue to Dean in the 5th over. He's in now around the wicket. This one's a good length delivery. It strays onto Harry Dean's hip, and he tucks this on the leg side and moves through for a single. So this is good busy stuff to begin his innings here from Dean. He might not be finding the boundaries, but he is ticking the scoreboard over where possible and stabilising the ship here for the men in green. 2 for 12 into the 5th over here at match 11. As we arrive at the final delivery of the Merrifield over. As Merrifield is in around the wicket here to Dean, and he ends with a good length delivery, and Dean defends on the offside for no run. So you'd have to say it's been Brennan's 11's match so far in the opening 5 overs of this contest. Match 11, 2 for 12 after 30 deliveries. The men in blue picking up the big wickets of Arnold and Doy cheaply. But Harry Dean has come to the crease and has looked very assured for his 3 not out. He's looked very solid and busy at the crease, taking singles where possible. But he's still got a massive job to do for the men in green. So it's going to be the youngster Riley Cornforth to bowl around the wicket here for the 6th over of the innings. Here he's in now to Dean. It begins with a full delivery, and Dean bunts this back down the pitch for no run. So a good start there for the youngster, who has been signed by the men in blue after impressing at the Australia Day T20 Big Bash. Here he's in once again now to Dean, and this one's over pitch, and Dean hammers this through the covers for his first boundary of the match. It's a textbook cover drive which beats the Blues fieldsman and takes him along to 7. Cornforth to continue around the wicket here to Dean in the 6th over. Here he's in now, and he pulls his length back slightly as Dean turns this on the leg side to the Blues skipper for no run. Here, and it looks like Scott is going to put 3 on the offside here. It looks like he's going to try and plug up that cover region where Dean is so strong. As Cornforth continues again to him now in the 6th over, and it's a good length delivery outside the off stump, and Dean lets it go. Now I just wonder at 2 for 16, Could Scott just keep that region open and try and entice him into another drive? As Cornforth continues again now to Dean. It's another good length delivery outside the off stump, and Dean leaves it alone once again. So it looks like Scott is opting just to strangle Dean here, probably thinking if he can draw up the boundaries he can draw Dean into a false shot. As Cornforth is in for the final ball of the over, and Dean just drops this on the leg side for a single to end a good over for the men in green. 2 for 17 after 6. It'll be Henry Paranara to bowl the 7th over of the innings. He's in now over the wicket here to Dean. He begins with a good length delivery, and Dean gets a thick inside edge, and it trickles onto the leg side, and he'll move through for another single. So that's a good start to this match here from Paranara, who makes his first appearance for Brennan's 11 since the opening test match of the season. And no doubt the blue skipper is happy to have one of his main strike weapons back. As he continue again now to Dean, who flirts outside the off stump as this flashes past the outside edge. So he's making things happen straight away. Here is Paranara. That's a loose stroke. Paranara to continue to Dean in the 7th over. Here he's in now. This one's a full delivery, bang on the money, and Dean keeps this out well and will move through for another single. So this is good busy cricket here from Harry Dean, as we see another bit of razzle-dazzle there from the umpire Michael Johnson. The entertainer showing off his football skills to the masses. In match 11, 2 for 19 in the 7th over. As Paranara will continue again now to Dean, and this one's outside the off stump. Oh, and it has been called a wide here from the umpire, and that has incensed the blue skipper. Here, it's got to be outside the line. We take a look. Oh, that's a harsh call, but it goes the Green Machine's way. Paranara in for the final ball of the 7th over. Here he's in now. This one's a good length delivery outside the off stump, and this beats the edge of Harry Dean once again to end with. So it's been a brilliant opening over there from Paranara, but Dean survives. 2 for 20 after 7. So it's Peter Fowler to Dean in the 8th over. Here he's in now round the wicket. This one's turned off his hip once again here from Dean, and he'll move through for another single. Now this is brilliant stuff from the left-hander, who is stabilising the ship here for the men in green. He's moved along to 11. Match 11, 2 for 23 here in the 8th over. But the men in blue will still be reasonably happy with where things stand at the moment. As Fowler's in once again here to Dean, and it's a bit of a half-hearted shot outside the off stump there, and I think he's lucky not to catch the edge. I think he jams the bat into the ground, but was this close? Yeah, it was. Fowler to continue to Dean in the 8th over. Here he's in now over the wicket. It's a good length delivery outside the off stump, and Dean lets this go through to the keeper. So the blue skipper won't mind this, but neither will the match 11 skipper, as Dean is rebuilding this innings. As Fowler is in for the final ball of the 8th over, and he advances at Fowler, and this one hits him in the hip, and he's going to move through for a leg bye to end with. 2 for 24 after 8. So it will be the blue skipper, Brendan Scott, to bowl the 9th over of the innings. As in now round the wicket here to Dean, and it's a good length delivery outside the off stump. It's a play and miss there from Dean to begin with. So it's a good start to this match here from the blue skipper. And once again, his side will have to bat under lights here tonight to chase a target down. So you think he's going to have to play a major part in that. As he's in once again to Dean. This one's a full delivery, and Dean just about keeps this one out. Yeah, there was a few groans from the Brennan's 11 fieldsman. Was it close to the auto wiki? No, he's hit it into the ground anyway. As Dean sneaks through for another single. Scott to continue to Dean in the 9th over. Here he's in now round the wicket. This one's a full delivery, and it beats the outside edge of Harry Dean once again. So as solid as Dean has been so far in this innings, he has been beaten once or twice outside the off stump. That's a good rock. Scott to continue round the wicket to Dean in the 9th over. He's in now. This one's a full delivery, and Dean gets this through the covers for his second boundary of the innings. Well, there's 3 men on the offside to stop exactly that, but he pierces the gap beautifully as Dean moves along to 16. Match 11, 2 for 29. As Scott will continue to Dean in the 9th over, and that is an absolute beauty which beats Dean outside the off stump. I think this must have hit a crack, because this has moved some way. Oh yeah, good luck playing that. So it's going to be Daniel Hancock to bowl the 10th and final over of the cycle. Here he's in now to Dean. He begins with a brilliant delivery, bang on the money, and Dean is forward and solid in defence as he plays that to Paranara for no run. So brilliant stuff this from Dean, who is getting the men in green back on track here in this limited overs fixture. As Hancock is in once again to Dean, who clips this off his legs, but it's well fielded by Cornforth, who is busy there at mid-wicket. So this is a brilliant contest out here to end the season here at the WCG. As Hancock's in once again to Dean, and Dean clips this off his toes into that vacant square leg region and will move through for another single. So brilliant stuff here from Harry Dean, who is resurrecting the innings here for the men in green. Match 11, 2 for 30 into the 10th, as Hancock will continue again now to Dean, and this one's a full delivery, bang on the money, and Dean turns this on the leg side once again, but once again it's well fielded there by Cornforth, who is busy there at mid-wicket. So you just feel there's a little bit of a momentum shift here in this contest, as Hancock is in for the final delivery of the over, and it's a brilliant drive down the ground, but it's a good stop there from the blue skipper who prevents a certain boundary. So that ends a brilliant first 10 overs of this contest. Match 11, 2 for 30. So the first 5 will come back on now for Brandon's 11. Match 11 were able to negotiate that 5-over period without losing any further wickets. They've moved along to 2 for 30 after 10 overs. Harry Dean stabilising the ship, 17 not out. He's got himself in, grinded through the early period, and has now got himself a start. Can he kick on for the men in green and shift the momentum well and truly in their favour? So we enter the second cycle of this innings, and it's going to be Justin Brooke to bowl the 11th over of the innings, as he's in now around the wicket here to Dean, and it's a good length delivery outside the off stump, and Dean leaves it alone. Brooke picked up the big wicket of Arnold for naught in the first over. The men in blue will be hoping he can make it 2 and 2 here. He'll continue again now to Dean around the wicket, and this one's a full delivery which beats Dean outside the off stump. Dean has played and missed it several so far in his innings, but he's still there. Brooke to continue to Dean in the 11th over. Here he's in now around the wicket, and this one's a full delivery, bang on the money, and Dean plays this on the onside to George Paneros for no run. So a brilliant battle brewing here at the WCG, with this innings on a knife's edge. Brooke is in once again to Dean, and this Yorks Dean as it beats the under edge of his bat. So it's been another brilliant over here from Brooke, but unfortunately for his point of view this wasn't straight enough, and Dean survives. Dean to continue around the wicket to Brooke in the 11th over. Here he's in now, this one's a good length delivery, and Dean plays his way on the offside, and he'll sneak through for a single as he takes his good mate Josh Bolling on, and it's a wild throw from Josh Bolling as he launches this into the bleachers, and it's another single to end with. 2 for 31. And it will be Josh Bolling now to bowl to Dean for the 12th over of the innings, as he now over the wicket to Dean, who flashes outside the off stump. It's another play and a miss there from the left-hander, who in truth will be pretty disappointed he didn't put that away. It was short and wide and was there for the taking. This bowling will continue to him now in the 12th over, and this one's a full delivery. Dean advances and gets to this on the full and hammers this down the ground for his third boundary. He moves along to 22. Match 11, 2 for 35. Bowling to continue over the wicket to Dean in the 12th over. Here he's in now, and he drags this one down this time, and he doesn't miss out on this opportunity once again. It's back-to-back boundaries here for Dean. Just starting to go through the gears here is the left-hander. Match 11, 2 for 39. So there's a momentum shift happening here at the WCG, as bowling continues to Dean in the 12th over, and that's a brilliant reply from the left-hander who beats his mate outside the off-stump. That was very nearly the moment there for the men in blue, but Dean survives once again. And Bolling knows that was close. 2 for 39 after 12. It'll be George Paneros to bowl the 13th over of the innings. As he now round the wicket here to Dean. He serves up a full toss, and Dean picks the gap through cover once again for another boundary. Going through the gears now is Harry Dean, who now has raced along to 30. Match 11, 2 for 43 in the 13th over, as Paneros will continue to Dean around the wicket. This one's a better length delivery on Harry Dean's hip, and he can't beat Josh Bolling there at mid-wicket. So brilliant stuff this from Harry Dean, who is finally standing up here for the men in green, as Paneros will continue to him now around the wicket. This one's a full delivery driven on the offside, and it's a good bit of fielding there initially from Gavin Merrifield, and mopped up brilliantly there from the youngster Costa Sabas, who backs his teammate up well. That's a good bit of fielding there from the men in blue. Paneros to continue around the wicket to Dean in the 13th over. Here he's in now, this one's a full delivery, and Dean gets a thick outside edge onto the fence, and he moves through for another single. So Dean ticks the scoreboard over once again, as we approach the drinks break here in this limited overs fixture. Match 11, 2 for 44, with Harry Dean 31 not out. As Paneros will continue again now to Dean, and this one's a full delivery, and Dean clips this off his toes onto the fence, and he moves through for another single. There's a good bit of fielding there from Bowling, who got onto it quickly, but he can't prevent Dean moving along to 32. Matt's 11, 2 for 46. It's going to be Costa Savas to bowl the 14th over of the innings. He's in now to Dean. He serves up a full toss. Oh, but it's gone right through Harry Dean. And the youngster picks up his first wicket in this fixture. That's a massive moment for the men in blue just before the drinks break. Harry Dean is clean bowled for 32. Matt's 11, 3 for 46. So the youngster Costa Savas picks up his first wicket in this fixture. And that will now bring the Matt's 11 skipper Matt White to the crease here at number 4. He's coming off a pretty handy Australia Day T20 Big Bash. Can he bring that form into this fixture? So it's going to be the youngster Costa Savas who has his tail up to bowl to Matt White for his first delivery. Here he's in now. This one's a back of a length delivery outside the off stump, and White leaves it alone. So this is going to be an interesting little period for White to negotiate with the drinks break just around the corner. And Savas will continue to him now over the wicket. This one's a full delivery and he's hit it in the air. And he's hit it straight to Justin Brook, who takes a smart catch. And that's the 4th wicket down for Matt's 11. Yeah, there's a bit of conjecture as to whether this has been hit into the ground. Here as we take a look. Well, I don't think so from that angle. That's a pretty handy catch there from Justin Brook. Here we might get a better look from this angle. Here as we take a look. No, that's clearly been hit on the half volley. And it travels in the air to Justin Brook, who takes a smart catch. Matt's 11, 4 down. So Brendan's 11 go bang bang right before the drinks break, as that wicket now brings Michael Johnson to the crease. His first job will be to see his side through to the drinks break. Can he survive these 3 deliveries? So it's the youngster Costa Savas looking for his 3rd wicket in this match to bowl over the wicket here to Michael Johnson. Here he's in now, and this one's a back of a length delivery, and it slides down the leg side, so that'll have to be re-bowled. So Matt's 11, 4 for 47 here in the 14th over. Just as they began to swing the momentum back in their favour, Brandon's 11 have wrestled back control. And Savas is in once again to Johnson, and it's a full delivery outside the off stump, and Johnson leaves it alone. So just 2 deliveries left for Johnson to negotiate till the drinks break. How the men in blue would love to take a 5th in with them. As Savas will continue again now to Johnson, and it's another good length delivery outside the off stump, and Johnson restrains himself and lets it go. So just 1 delivery left for Johnson to negotiate to the break. It's Savas into Johnson. He's in now, this one's a back of a length delivery, and this one hits Johnson on the hip and goes through to the auto wiki to end with. So Johnson survives, but it's been well and truly a Brendan's 11 session. So in what was a brilliant opening period to this contest, Matt's 11 limp into the drinks break at 4 for 47 after 14 overs. Harry Dean stabilising the ship here for the men in green after the loss of the early wickets. But once he was removed for 32, and the skipper 2 balls later for a duck, Brendan's 11 were able to wrestle back control. A massive back end of the innings coming up next.